Hey everyone, how you doing? It's Mr. Outlaw back again to talk about some more vaping products, and specifically products from Smokeless Image, which is the company that I prefer to use for my vaping needs. I will say that it's really nice to see that Smokeless Image is expanding their product line a little bit to accommodate the more intermediate users who really like dealing with Smokeless Image as a company, but have maybe advanced past the introductory products that they have generally carried there. Now today's video is going to be a little bit different than my other videos, which are normally like how-to videos. This is going to be more of a review of the new ejuice line that they're carrying from NicQuid. And let me start off by saying that the folks at Smokeless Image did contact me, asked me if I could make a review, see what I thought of it, make a video letting people know what I thought of it. And when I agreed, they did send me a sample of all of the different flavors that they carry. So even though they did supply me with samples of all the products for free, this will be an open and honest review of it, so I can really let you know what I think of it, and I won't take into account the fact that they did give me the juice for free. So let's get into the product line and what I think of it. I'll go over the positives and the negatives and let you know what I think of it. Okay, so let's get into the review of it. And let me start off by saying exactly how I decided to do this review, because I really kind of went over in my head, well, how I wanted to do it. Because generally, I am not a fan of or put a lot of onus on juice reviews, because taste is really subjective. And as far as like vapor production, it comes down to what type of equipment somebody is using. And sometimes I would like see a review of an ejuice from a company and say he'd like have these big clouds of vapor. Meanwhile, he was using a completely different type of device, and that didn't really help me. So what I did is I decided that, first of all, I was only going to use Smokeless Image batteries and juice delivery systems, because that's what most of you are going to be using. The NicQuid product is available from NicQuid's website as well as from Smokeless Image's website. It's the same price on whether you buy it from either website. I did notice that NicQuid does offer like a discount if you buy multiple bottles of something, but Smokeless Image, and it's the same price as Smokeless Image, but it's literally like a penny or two. It's not a whole lot of money, but Smokeless Image offers their Volt points and also some coupons, and we'll get into the price of it in a little bit. But what I decided to do was obviously, first of all, use the Smokeless Image products to vape these, and I also decided, because taste is so subjective, and what I use you may not like, and what you like I may not like, and sometimes there are flavors where your first instinct is you don't like it, but as you use it a little bit, you become to love it. I decided that I would take each flavor as I used it and vape it for 2 or 3 days exclusively, and not try anything else in between, to really give each flavor a chance. Now, I'm not saying I liked all of the flavors, because there are obviously some flavors that just aren't for me, and it's not because it wasn't a good flavor, it's just because it's not something that I prefer to vape. For me personally, I'm much more into minty type of things, a few desserts, stuff like that, and some fruit flavors, but I'm not a big fan of tobaccos and certain types of desserts. But I did give each one that I tried a chance by vaping it for 2 or 3 days, and I did find that there were a couple of flavors where my first instinct was that I hated it, and now I love it, and I'm ordering more of it for myself. Now, there are 28 different flavors in the product line. I've only actually gotten through about 14 in the last month since they sent them to me. And I wanted to give myself some time to really try them before I release this video for everybody. So let's get into the different products and how they work and what I like about them, what I don't. And I'll give you the positives and negatives and everything that I feel about them. Okay, so let's get into the product line itself. First of all, the NicQuid line is made right here in the United States, which I love. Everything is made with USB, vegetable glycerin, and propylene glycol. They only use food-grade, artificial, and natural flavorings. They don't add any alcohol. They don't add any colors or dyes. and they don't use any dialkyl or custard in them. So to me, that's a positive, as opposed to some of the other products that were made over in China and we have no idea what's in them. So they are made over in up in Dayton, Ohio. To me, that's great. They offer, like I said, 28 different flavors. They actually have them classified into 4 different categories of mint, fruits, tobaccos, and desserts. And I like the fact that they actually color code them. So all of their tobaccos have a red color on them, which they only have one right now. They have their desserts in this yellowish orange color. Their mints are green, and their desserts are blue. Now, one thing when you go to order them, you may notice some of them are kind of like cross over with each other, and it makes it a little bit more difficult to find on the website, whether you go to NicQuid or you go to Smokeless Image. But they have products like an Apple Breeze or an Apple Frost, which you would think, oh, that's a fruit flavor, but it's actually classified as a mint because it's got like a minty undertone. So keep that in mind when you go to order. My suggestion would be just like choose the NicQuid line and kind of go down and see everything, as opposed to going by, oh, I want a fruit, because you won't find like Apple Frost or the Bahama Breeze in the fruit. That's going to be classified in the mint flavor. They come in 3 different sizes of 5 milliliter, 10 milliliter, and 30 milliliter, so there's a wide variety. One thing I would like to see is Smokeless Image offer a sampler pack. I noticed on the NicQuid website they have a sampler pack, but they don't have one on the Smokeless Image website, so I would like to see that. As far as price, I think it's a little bit higher than some of the other companies, but I also think that there's some things that offset that to make it okay to be a little bit higher. And what I mean by that, if you go onto the NicQuid website, they tell you about making their product. And I apologize, but I'm going to use some notes that I wrote down as I was making this review. But on their website, they say they make all of their batches in 4-liter batches, and they pre-steep everything for 2 weeks before they ship it out. And I like that, because some of the other companies, when you order it, they make it when you order it. And so when you get it, it's got a different flavor on day 1 than it does 2 weeks later. And on one of my other videos, I actually talked about steeping, and sometimes it can be a pain, because you'll like it when you get it, and then a couple weeks later, you hate it. So I do definitely like that. I also like the fact that they have them in stock. One company I've been dealing with for almost the last year, when I first started dealing with them, you know, their turnaround time was 1 or 2 days, and now because vaping has become such a great alternative to smoking, their turnaround time is 2, 3, 4 weeks. So when you're running low on an ejuice, you order it and you have no idea when they're gonna ship it out or when they're gonna make it, because they're making it to order. So I like the fact that NicQuid is pre-steeping it and it's in stock, so you can go to the Smokeless Image website, order it, and know it's going to be shipped out in a day or 2. The other thing is that Smokeless Image always has coupons out there to help lower the costs. Now, the 5 milliliter bottle is $4.89, the 10 milliliter is $8.19, and the 30 milliliter is $19.99. But like I said, with the Smokeless Image coupons, there's always a 15% off coupon out there, which the 15% off coupon would lower it to $4.16 for the 5 milliliter bottle, $6.96 for the 10 milliliter, and $16.99 for the 30 milliliter. So that's a little bit more in line with some of the other companies. Also, Smokeless Image has the Volt Point system, so you're earning points for future rewards on buying more. They also always have big sales around all the holidays, which are 20%, 22% off to lower it even more. So the price, though it's a little bit high, when you add in the coupon, it's right in line with some of the other ones. But the fact that it's going to be shipped out right away definitely is a positive and offsets that. Now, like I said, there's 28 flavors. I have not tried all 28 flavors yet. I've gotten through about 14 of them. And I can tell you the ones that I've tried, I love. I mean, there's some that I probably would not purchase again, but it's not because I didn't like it or because it had a horrible flavor, but it's more so it's just not more of what I want to vape. I prefer things like mints and some of the fruits and things like that. I'm not a huge tobacco person. And they only have one tobacco in their line right now, and I would like to see NicQuid come out with a couple more tobaccos, because although I don't like tobaccos, there are a lot of people that want like a camel flavor or a marble flavor, and right now they have one, and that's the one that I've actually been vaping right now, which I have here in my 78 milliliter with a nano on it. And I will tell you that they dead on nailed a tobacco flavor, which is very difficult because you can't get that burning taste what you would get with a cigarette, but it really does taste like a nice pipe tobacco. It has a nice throat hit. It's got some nice vapor, and it definitely has a nice tobacco flavor. One thing about throat hit, you know, I vape 6 milligram nicotine, so I don't get the same amount of throat hit as somebody who's going to vape a 12 or an 18 or a 24 milligram, and because your throat hit does come from the nicotine. Now, if you go onto the website for NicQuid, it says they don't specify what the ratio of PG to VG is, but when I spoke to the folks at Smokeless Image, they said that it is actually 60% PG, 40% VG, which to me is a perfect combination. When I was making my own and ordering from other companies, that is pretty much right where I was always ordering, 60, 40, 70, 30. I think it's just perfect. It's got just the right amount of VG to give you all the clouds of vapor without muting the flavor, without muting the throat hit, and without clogging up your juice delivery systems and making everything too thick where you have to start diluting it down with water and alcohol. So that's definitely a plus for me. I love all of the different flavors that I've tried, and I'm going to kind of list down and go through all the different ones towards the end of this video and what I liked about them. But every one that I tried really does have a good flavor to it. Okay, let me quickly run down the flavors that I've tried. When I first started, I really only wanted to try the mint ones, and I've slowly expanded into the fruits and desserts, and I've been very pleasantly surprised with them. So we'll start off. Apple Frost was the first one that I tried. I really like it. It's got a nice apple flavor with a little bit of a minty kick at the end, almost like a Granny Smith apple. I really like that one. The Biscotti tastes like a Biscotti cookie. It's not one of my favorites as far as a vape, but I really don't want to vape a cookie. But I'm also not a big fan of Biscotti cookies. But it does have a nice flavor. I was able to stick with it for 3 days. They nailed the flavor perfectly. Cherry on top was one of those ones that when I first tried it, I didn't like it. Generally, I'm not a fan of cherry and vapes. I've found every one I've ever tried tasted like NicQuid, but this is one of those ones I first tried, I was like, oh, I don't know. And as I used it, it became one of my favorites, and I actually just ended up ordering a 30 milliliter bottle. It actually reminds me of like a cherry-infused tobacco cigar. I almost feel like they should classify it in the tobacco section because it's really what it does taste like. It's a perfect flavor. Same thing with the Maraschino Blast. It reminds me of like maraschino cherries with a whipped cream like the top of a sundae. It's got a nice flavor. I really enjoy it. I could see myself vaping it in the future. Midnight Express, again, I'm not a tobacco fan. I didn't even like tobacco cigarettes. But they really did nail a tobacco flavor. I hope to see them expand on their tobaccos. Mintoid is probably one of my favorites. The Mintoid, it's like a spearmint wintergreen type mix. I love it. I've gone through almost 20 milliliters. I went through the 10 milliliters they gave me, and then I ordered more, and I've gone through half of that bottle. The Orange Dreamsicle has a great Orange Dreamsicle taste. It's got a nice kick of orange at the end. It's another one I definitely see myself ordering some more of that one. Synapse has like a nice cinnamon type minty combination flavor. I really enjoy it. I've gone through the entire 10 milliliter bottle and really liked it. The Cinnabon tastes just like a cinnamon bun from, you know, the mall. I really enjoy it, so much so that like I was vaping it one night and my wife was like, what does that smell like? Are you eating cinnamon buns? It's got a nice flavor. It's got like a cinnamon with a cake taste at the end. It's got a really good flavor. Even though I've almost moved away from dessert vapes, I can definitely see myself using that one. Cinthol is another one. It's like a cinnamon menthol flavor I found, and I really enjoyed it. I can definitely, I went through the entire 10 milliliter bottle and really liked using it. Could see myself ordering more in the future. Smoothol actually was my favorite. I loved it so much I used the entire 10 milliliter bottle in the first day. It really has a nice menthol flavor. It reminds me of the menthol Marlboro Smooths that I used to vape. I really enjoyed it. If you are a menthol smoker, you will probably really enjoy that one. The stripes really did taste like fruit stripe gum. The only thing is you didn't lose the flavor after 3 seconds. It's got a nice flavor to it. I really enjoyed vaping it. Definitely something I could see myself vaping on occasion in the future. Sublime was incredible. I loved it. It's got like a limey mint taste to it. It's got a nice kick. I went through the entire 10 milliliter bottle and then was kind of upset when I didn't have any more and just ordered another bottle for myself. And the last one that I've tried so far is the Summertime Tea, which I really enjoy as well. It really does taste like an iced tea. It reminds me of like drinking a brisk iced tea. And even though I'm a Southerner, I like sweet tea. It's got that really nice sweet taste, but it's got a brisk flavor to it. And they actually have it classified in the mint flavor. I really enjoyed it. I ended up ordering a 30 milliliter bottle and I've been through half of that. And that's all the different flavors I've tried. They also do have an added burst one, which so you can add some menthol flavor to any ejuice. You don't vape this on its own. You just kind of add a few drops. And I really enjoyed that. It was a nice thing to add to some of the things to give more of a menthol kick or something like that. And those are different flavors I've tried. So what I want to do real quickly is just go through some of the positives and negatives that I found of this and in this product line. And so hopefully that will help you a little bit more in making a decision if you want to try it or not. Okay, so let's touch on the positives and negatives real quick before we end this video. On the positive side, first of all, I love the fact that this line is made in the United States. I love that we know what's in it, that they're not adding a bunch of extra chemicals like some of the products that we may not know what's coming from China. I love the 60-40 blend. I think they nailed it dead on. I use this in my T3s, my CE3s, my X2 clearomizers, and I even tried them in the cartomizers, even though I don't like cartomizers. And I really found that none of my products clogged up. I didn't have any dry hits. I didn't have any wicking issues. I really think they nailed it dead on. Now, I know some people may say, well, I like determining how much. I personally don't care. I was always ordering 60-40 or 70-30 before, and I think they just nailed it perfectly to work with these devices that Smokeless Image offers. I like the variety of flavors. I think that every flavor I tasted really had a great flavor. Nothing to me tasted bad. It has a lot of vapor to it. It had a nice throat hit. I love the fact that they offer it in 0, 6, 12, 18, and 24 milligram for people who need more nicotine. So there's a wide variety to get everybody's vaping needs in there. One thing I didn't touch on, which to me is another positive, is this new dropper top that they have on there. It's much smaller. It gives you a lot more control when you're filling your devices. I like the fact that it fits down inside the Nano, and even when you do your T3 or your X2, you can kind of tilt it in a little bit more and not worrying about getting it in the air hole. The only negative with that top, and we'll start the negative list with this, is that if you like to syringe fill, like for your CE3s, it's a pain to get your needle in there. You almost have to pull the dropper top off, and sometimes I want to be able to fill a little bit faster, and it doesn't allow for that. That's about the only negative as far as the top. As far as other negatives with this product line, I didn't find many. I think the biggest thing that people are going to find or not like is the cost. And we discussed the cost. And I think that there are enough positives that outweigh that cost difference between Smokeless Image or NicQuid products and the other companies that are out there. But again, if you use a coupon from Smokeless Image, you kind of bring the price right back down, so it shouldn't really matter too much. The only other negatives that I find and they're kind of nitpicks, but I'll tell you what I personally think anyway, and that is I'd like to see them, when they list them on the website, I'd like to see them maybe make it a little bit easier to find. You know, for example, I would say if you tell me apple frost, I'm immediately going to go to a fruit category, and they actually list that in a mint. So maybe if there's a way to cross-categorize it or something like that, but again, it's a nitpick thing. The only other thing I would like to see is them actually add a few more flavors. I know this product line has been like highly anticipated and everybody was waiting for it. But there were a couple of smokeless image flavors that I really liked. I liked the coffee flavor. Two of my favorites from the original smokeless image line were the grape and the watermelon, and they haven't yet put one in this product line. And I really would like to see a watermelon, a grape, and a coffee in this, as well as some more tobaccos. Like I said, although I'm not a tobacco vapor, I know a lot of people are, and so it'd be nice to see that added. But other than that, I would say the only other thing I would like to see is some type of a sampler pack. But those, again, are all nitpick things. As far as the ejuice themselves, I really think that Smokeless Image and NicQuid like hit it dead on. That this is a great ejuice line. I love it, and I definitely see myself using this as the ejuice that I'm going to vape from now on. I've actually already ordered several bottles for myself, of larger bottles of some of the different flavors. So hopefully this video will help you guys in make a decision if you want to try the NicQuid line. The only thing I would tell you is if you're going to try it and haven't tried it, start out with 5 milliliter or 10 milliliter bottles. Don't jump right into a 30 milliliter bottle, even though it'll save you a little bit of money, because you want to make sure you like a flavor before you purchase a large bottle of it. But all in all, I think this is a great line. Hopefully this video has helped you guys. And until next time, happy vaping.